of all the examples of immediate highs followed by immediate lows that I've ever experienced in my entire life, the happiest I've ever been, and then the most disappointed almost immediate with like no warning about the same subject is 2023. You, Alistair, me, Dylan, Bug, Carly, everybody all get tickets using a link that Bug had for, and we think it's Revolver, but we can't remember. Some magazine had a promo code that Bug had a part of.
Yeah, pre-sale code, yeah.
Right. And it was at the, whatever company owns it now, but the amphitheater in Tampa, in the fairgrounds, to see Ghost in their second round of Imperator.
Right.
Pop 4 in all of his glory. At this point, it was like we knew that because of the band cycle, it's like, well, he's probably not going to be the front man for much longer. He's, you know, watching the iteration of that character grow and flourish. It was such a ride. It was so exciting. We were good seats too. Good seats for that amphitheater. And then a hurricane threatened to hit Tampa. Very strong hurricane threatened to hit Tampa. And in the week preceding, it was just like, oh my God, is this going to fucking cancel this show? And then it missed us and it went very far north and kind of through South Carolina. So it didn't hit Florida at all. Unfortunately, that area that it hit is how the band was going to get here. So they were like, fuck it, we can't go now. So sorry, Tampa, we're canceling.
Yeah.
And they canceled that show. I think it was like a little less than 48 hours before. So we were all in the dark and just hoping that they weren't going to cancel. And then they did. It was heartbreaking, which makes it all the more special that because I hadn't seen that band before. Right. I have not been able to either afford it or I have had previous obligations that have not allowed me to go since prequel. I have not been able to go. You have gone.
Yeah, I saw them once before for the Imperator North American in 2022, that tour.
Yeah.
And they performed at the Yingling Center at USF here in Tampa.
Yeah, and you went with Bug and Bug's wife.
Sarah, yeah.
But so I had not gone yet, and I was so excited, but the problem is I was excited with this like shadow of doubt clung to my excitement of just like, well, what the fuck's going to happen now? So we did get to go over this last weekend. We got to see them. It was the best live anything I've ever seen. It was the most amazing thing. I mean, the production value alone. Yeah. I went to school as a tech theater major. So seeing their light rigs and all of the set design, how many set changes there were involved in the show. It was just a spectacular thing. And then also I'm a big metalhead and I like, Carly dressed up like a spooky nun and like we went out and it was great. The actual show was strange for us because we had gotten our tickets. You, Bug, and Sarah had gotten your tickets in a different day and time than Carly and I did. So we weren't sitting together.
Yeah, we had gotten ours around the same time that we got our tickets for our preview of Epic Universe.
Right. And so we saw the concert and then kind of met back up and we went out for dinner and talked about it later. But I mean, it was just amazing. It was, and there were elements of horror involved. There were elements of all kinds of things that we talk about in this show. A lot of people don't like that band, kind of a divisive band. Yeah. But I mean, you and I are such big fans that it was great. The new look for the frontman, Papa 5 Perpetua, was just great. It was just amazing. It all culminated in one of the best nights, probably in the top 10 best nights of my life. It was amazing. But all of that to say of the entire, because the concert was, damn near 2.5 hours. It was,
they were on stage for just under 2.
At one point, Carly looks at me and she, during one of the set changes, like right before they've changed the set, she looks at me. She goes, "Oh, good. Do you think this is intermission?" I was like, "Bro, this isn't Spam-A-Lot. Like, they're not going to do that."
They didn't even have an opening act.
She didn't say it at the time, but I think she might have had to pee.
Ah,
yeah. I did too. So I just peed on the ground. All of that to say, of the whole show, and all of the things that are new for this tour or the new songs or whatever, what would you say your standout moment of the show was?
Probably the mystery that was then revealed as Papa rose out of the stage and out of the fog, holding something gripped in his fist, and it was a cowbell, which he seemed very confused about until he handed it off, and then they started Umbra, which was incredible.
It was amazing. Yeah, it was such a good pull from that album too, because they're always going to do new stuff, but I think because they did 4 songs from the new album, and I think adding that one was surprising, and as surprising as it was a good payoff.
Yeah.
What I will say is that the other time he rose out of the stage is one of my takeaways for Call Me Little Sunshine, because it was amazing.
Right.
But because of the mechanics of the riser, I think it had to be in the back. So like from behind the drum set, he rose up on a pillar with his big purple, like skeletal chrome gown, and he sings the song, and there's the camera that's on the, the big screens that show his face or kind of just focused on him. But then there's a instrumental break in the middle of that song, where in the middle of that song, they just turned the light off of him, but you could still kind of see him. And he just sat in the back. And I'm sure he was like terrified because he kept his hands really close to his chest. It's like the things I do for love. Hello and welcome back to the Third Channel Podcast,
where we delve into the horror franchises you love from the perspectives of a lifelong horror fan
and a newbie to the genre. I'm PJ.
And I'm Derek.
And today, the only thing we're here to talk about is those damn enchiladas, which is their own kind of horror.
Yeah.
We are here today to discuss not listed as a part.
Yeah, like sometimes people will call it part 5.
Yeah. It's like Halloween 6, Curse of Michael Myers, but it's actually just Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers.
Exactly.
This is Friday the 13th, A New Beginning, the one that everyone hates for different reasons.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Do you remember when we were watching Halloween? I think it might have been Resurrection, and we were surprised because it was like, we fully expected to just blast this movie and hate it. And it was like, but there were things that we liked.
Yeah. I had a fun time watching it.
Yeah. I think this is the one that will be like that for me, because I did not like the rewatches. I didn't enjoy doing it again. I don't like this movie in almost any way, but the insanity within this movie is like, okay, but that's kind of funny. Like, it's kind of fun.
No. It certainly has its moments that I enjoy. Little, things that have become jokes or things that you could make into jokes, line deliveries that are bizarre.
It feels like the most obviously inappropriate episode of the Andy Griffith Show. Like,
yeah,
just or like the Beverly Hillbillies, like a bunch of just like weirdly written backwater characters interacting with each other in little vignettes until the movie's over.
Yeah, it really feels that way. Because there are so many scenes in this where like 2 characters that we've never seen before appear to be murdered, but then we're not given any specifics of who they are or why they're there.
Yeah. Everything in this movie feels like it is there to fill a quota.
Yes.
Of whether that's TNA and if you're a kid and you don't know what that means, look it up. Unless you're my kid, and then don't. And then you've got, we need more kills. So we'll just introduce somebody who we do not name and you never see again. And we're just going to kill him really fast in a stupid way.
What's funny is you're not far off.
Yeah, no, I fully believe that this movie was created because of like Well, it's a cash grab.
Yeah, I would call it a cash grab.
Yeah, it's definitely. I do have some housekeeping.
Okay.
And this is probably the best bit of housekeeping we've given on the show before.
Mm-hmm.
It's very exciting. We got the news today.
Yes.
So we owe you, our fans, a tremendous thank you.
Yes, we do.
We have often chided you and given you bullshit about your inability to comment on our shit. But moving forward, forget all that.
Yeah.
You guys knocked it out of the fucking park because you are now listening to an award-nominated podcast because you guys nominated us for Best of the Bay.
Yes. For anyone who doesn't live in the Tampa Bay area.
Yes.
There is a yearly award, series of awards that go out from a newspaper.
Creative loafing.
And it's called the Best of the Bay. And what's funny is, we mentioned this last week about our Rocky Horror Picture Show cast, Hell on Heels. We have won a couple Best of the Bays as Hell on Heels. So this is a huge thing in the Tampa Bay area. When this episode releases, we will be maybe a week into the voting.
Yeah.
So we will be pestering you online.
Yes.
To vote every day because you can.
Hopefully what will happen too is they'll get annoyed by the constant pestering, and then they'll play this episode and they'll hear this where we're just pouring praise onto them and saying thank you so much, and maybe that will reignite their love, and then they'll fucking vote for us more. No matter what happens with this award, we are eternally grateful to the people that thought we were worthy of being award nominated. I have been on cloud 9 all day.
Yeah.
It's an amazing feeling to have created this with you 6 months ago and then have an idea of we hope that this many people, and we hope that it gets into these places, and then we've had 1,000+ downloads, so many listens, so much good feedback, so much engagement from people. People asking, I get asked by people all the time, oh, are you going to do this one?
Okay. I was going to ask you this within the last few days. Were you telling somebody about Third Channel while in line for merch at Ghost?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Because you were behind me, a couple people.
Yeah.
And then I could kind of nebulously kind of hear.
It was somebody behind me wearing a "Here's Papa," and it's the shirt of him bursting through the door like in The Shining.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, I really like that shirt. And we kind of had a brief conversation wherein, I bring it up all the time. We are going to have to get business cards at this point because I can't continue to write with somebody's pen on a receipt. But I mean, I will continue to do it because I'm passionate. Yeah. I'm passionate and I have good penmanship. Patty's penmanship is perfection.
Wow. I love alliteration.
Yeah, but I don't like what I said. But yes, so that is our housekeeping.
Yeah.
Is our house just got a little bit bigger and a little bit shinier, and we are very, very proud of what we are doing. But the reason we're proud is because obviously you guys like it. And that's what we set out to do.
It means a lot.
Yes. And as a reminder, in our episode 0, and feel free to go back and listen to that. The only way that anything that you could ever do would matter is if you did it on mic and put it out in public. So now that we know that what we're doing really matters, we can finally die.
Oh, thank you.
Friday the 13th, a new beginning. If Jason still haunts you, you're not alone. Homicidal maniac Jason returns from the grave to cause more bloody mayhem. Young Tommy may have escaped from Crystal Lake, but he's still haunted by the gruesome events that happened there. When gory murders start happening at the secluded halfway house for troubled teens where he now lives, it seems like his nightmarish nemesis, Jason Voorhees, is back for more sadistic slaughter. We are going to knock this off the tee and hopefully out of the stadium so we don't have to address it anymore. It is a big spoiler for this movie. The person in the mask in this movie is not Jason Voorhees. Right. The reason most people hate this one is they go, this doesn't even have Jason in it. And it does not. It is like a whodunit or like a murder mystery of, well, Jason's dead. So who could this be? And it be stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember seeing this one young and being offended.
Yeah, sure.
At what I was given by the end of this. It really bothered me.
Sure.
And it's one of those things where, like, sometimes movies that I watched whenever I was younger and I didn't enjoy them. Maybe I didn't get quite what they were at the time. And now watching them again and again, it's like I piece things together a little more and I go, oh, you know what? Maybe I do enjoy this a little more. This is not the case here.
Sure.
This is something where, like, I try to...
You are much more forgiving than I am.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I still, like, I don't enjoy this movie almost at all.
It's a chore.
Yes.
There was a point in our rewatch over this week where, and I'd only seen this movie one time, and just to kind of put it into the newbie perspective, there, you did not express to me, oh, this one does not have Jason.
Yeah, I
in
can't
it.
remember. I couldn't remember if I had given that away or not when we watched it originally.
No, yeah, you kept that under wraps. So it's very clear, basically, from the beginning. It's like, okay, well, Jason is absolutely dead. And it's also just the little minor details that have become so popular now of like, oh, well, it's a separate character, so we'll give him like a different paint job, like a different color scheme. It's like, well, he's got the blue stripes on the mask, and the mask doesn't look exactly right. And it's like he's wearing a maintenance jumpsuit, and it's like, this ain't Jason. Like, and the reveal, which I mean, we'll get to basically in the beginning of the review, is really bad. And it would be like if Ghostface in in Scream 7, in the beginning of the movie, you have like a dolly shot through like the hallway of a hospital, and there's a janitor pushing a mop, and somebody's like, "Hey, Willie," and he's like, "Hey, what's up?" And then it pans over, and then at the end, Ghostface takes his mask off, and it's like, what? It's why would you have done all this? And he's like, because of things that didn't matter in this script. And you're like, wow, you're being really meta, Ghostface. And he's like, yeah, that's kind of my job.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like that.
I don't like this, though.
I don't like
what
this.
I was saying, sorry, to get back around to the point, there was a point in our screening where there is something happening and it is so loud and so insane and so long. Because that's the whole movie. It's loud and confusing and bright and stupid. And it got to the point where I was just like, from the depths of me, I was like, shut the fuck up. I'm screaming at the TV.
Yeah, I know the scene that does that for me. Friday the 13th, A New Beginning. Released March 22nd of 1985.
Okay, really quick. We agree to do that, right? Anytime one of us, like if I say Friday the 13th, A New Beginning. Yeah, good.
No, because that's going to turn a lot of people off.
They're gone.
Yeah,
they saw the title of this and they didn't click.
Yep.
They never heard us say thank you.
Oh, man. We meant it, though. Directed by Danny Steinmann. Written by Martin Kittrosser, who is a name we've heard before, David Cohen, and Danny Steinmann. So the director also had a writing credit on this. And it's produced by Timothy Silver. The cinematography is done by Stephen L. Posey, who had worked on a slasher film from 81 called Delusion, the 81 slasher Bloody Birthday, the 82 slasher Slumber Party Massacre, the slasher from 82 Blood Song, and then Savage Streets, which is a David Steinman film, and Hellhole, which is an 85 horror film.
All of those movies sound like something that you would buy on one of those multi-pack DVDs from the bin that you have to reach all the way down into at a Walmart.
Yeah. Bloody Birthday, I watched several years ago. I don't really recommend.
Okay.
Slumber Party Massacre, I watched a few years ago. I do recommend. I like the sequel better.
Okay. Sure. I have no frame of reference, so I'm just gonna smile at you.
Yeah, we'll get to those eventually.
Okay. God.
It's edited by Bruce Green. Bruce Green was the assistant editor on Raiders of the Lost Ark and the Temple of Doom.
What?
And then he was the editor on the slasher film from 86 called April Fool's Day. He also worked on Friday the 13th Part 6. The 1993 suspense mystery called The Vanishing, which is a remake of a Dutch film that I believe the original title for is Spoorloos, I think is how you pronounce it, which I've seen the original. Phenomenal. The less you know going into that thing, oh man, it's incredible.
Which is the opposite of this one.
Yeah.
Because like you can know nothing going into this and that doesn't help you at all.
And then Bruce Green was also the editor on Cool Runnings,
Jamaican bobsledders.
Yep. And Angels in the Outfield from 1994.
Okay, I may not love those two, but like everything that he's worked on that I know the reference of is either wildly popular and was wildly successful at its time, or I really, really like. And it's like, it's another one of those examples of a really talented person that I guess just picking up a fucking paycheck.
Yeah, it must. The budget for this film is exactly the same as for the final chapter, $2.2 million. And the box office was a step down, $21.9 million from 33. Our director and one of our writers, Danny Steinmann, didn't do a whole lot before this. He had worked on the 1973 pornographic film High Rise, which if you've watched the movie and you're now listening to our discussion here, you understand why things happen in this film that it does, because this guy had originally been, directing porn.
Yeah.
He also directed the 80 slasher film The Unseen. Like I said before, he did Savage Streets, which is an 84 crime drama that starred Linda Blair. And then he was the producer on Spectre, which was a 77 TV horror, The Deadly Game, a TV thriller from 82, and Separate Tables, which was a TV drama in 83. That's pretty much the only credits that he has that I could find. One of our writers that we have spoken of before is Martin Kittrosser. He's the guy who wrote Meatballs Part 2.
Oh, right.
Friday the 13th Part 3. And then he wrote and directed Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 5.
Which is the one with Mickey Rooney.
Correct.
Okay.
And then he's also the guy who is the script supervisor on all of Tarantino's films.
Oh, right. Oh, man. Okay.
The other writer is David Cohen, and he worked on a movie called Hollywood Zap, which is an 86 comedy film, which featured the actor Carmen Philpe, who you may or may not remember played Reverend Jackson Sayer in Halloween 4, the guy who picks up a Dr. Loomis hitchhiking.
Oh my God. Okay.
And then he also, David Cohen was the writer on The Treasure, which was a 1990 adventure film.
Now, this is the second Cohen that's been given a writing credit in these movies. But I think it was part 3 that had a Cohen that was writing on it. But that Cohen's job apparently was just to transpose what the director wanted from the, I'm doing air quotes, writer, and his job was to work a typewriter. So do you think that's a similar situation here? Do you think that guy actually wrote something?
I don't know. That was Barney Cohen from from the final chapter. But
okay.
Yeah. I hope it's not that. I hope he actually did some real writing there.
I don't. I hope that he just did the typewriter, because if he actually wrote anything, he is besmirched.
He's in charge of what we witnessed.
Yeah.
He's at fault.
I like that. I like witnessed. Like we're martyrs. We have to do this for these people.
At this point, sometimes that's what it feels like. Our producer, Timothy Silver, he was the producer on 19 episodes of The X-Files, 11 episodes of the police procedural Numbers on TV, and then he also was the producer on 18 episodes from seasons 4 and 5 of Community, the Dan Harmon comedy.
Wow, okay.
And 49 out of 100 episodes of the TV comedy Jane the Virgin.
I have never heard of that.
No idea. I just thought it was weird that he did half of that show.
Yeah.
And then our music, of course, Harry Manfredini. It's not great in this movie. It's weird.
Harry Manfredini is a strange thing, like a topic, because his score is so important to the genre of horror. It is so sets a theme for kind of the genre at large. And then it is just repeated. And when it's not repeated, it's bad.
Yeah.
Like he's just not, he got really, he got that lucky streak. He wrote something really good. And then he's like, okay, all right, do the rest of this, Manfredini. You got this. And then he just kind of farted around on a synth for a little while. And then that's what we got.
That's what we get. So when executive producer Frank Mancuso Jr. left after the previous film, Paramount decided to amp up the nudity and gore to try and kind of keep ticket sales from dropping any more than they already had. So they hired Danny Steinmann to direct, but unlike previous directors, he wasn't hired because of his experience in horror films, but because of his penchant for trashiness.
Yeah.
And so he had made 3 low-budget schlock films before this one, including the porn film in the late 70s. Many feel that this is why Steinmann kept pressuring the actresses to do more nude scenes beyond what they had originally agreed to when they were cast.
Yeah.
And then even though this film made money, it still ended up being Steinmann's last directorial role. The producer, he was an executive producer on this film, Frank Mancuso Jr. He did not get along with Danny Steinmann, the director. He called Steinmann a pervert and called the film a softcore porn sex movie instead of a slasher horror film. The actress of Melanie Kinnaman, who plays Pam, she also didn't get along with the director, saying that he was very hostile and unapproachable as a director during the filming. The movie's title, A New Beginning, was chosen because it had been decided that Tommy would become the killer after his encounter with Jason in the final chapter. I mean, that's where that movie kind of alludes to at the end there, with its final shot. So Danny Steinmann was instructed, and this is kind of where you're right on the money here. He was instructed to do 2 things with this movie: to deliver a shock, scare, or a kill every 7 to 8 minutes, and then more importantly, to turn Tommy Jarvis into Jason Voorhees. And the ending with Tommy about to kill Pam was not originally meant to be taken as a dream. Most of the Friday the 13th movies have that ending dream sequence, but some people take that to be what the ending of this movie is. And whenever we go into 6, maybe that's how you have to take it. But it wasn't originally meant to be that way. It was to show that he had gone crazy after his encounters, and but because this movie didn't make the money that they needed it to or wanted it to, they scrapped any plot there and instead just resurrected Jason in the next film for good. Yeah. And Jason then just continued on being the killer. Whenever they did the casting for this movie, they did it under a fake title of Repetition. And so a lot of the actors actually were not aware that they were auditioning for a Friday the 13th film at the time. And so until they were like already cast in the roles, the lead actor, John Shepard, who plays Tommy Jarvis, he spent several months volunteering at like a state mental hospital to prepare for this role. And so he was really disappointed to discover that Repetition was the 5th entry in Friday the 13th.
Can you imagine? That's like going to that's like getting a 2-year degree to be like a ambulance tech, like an EMT. And then you show up and it's like, oh yeah, no, you're just the Band-Aid guy. And it's like, are you kidding? I did so much effort. I don't know why I always have to make analogies to things. It's the Best Buy situation all over again.
That one was really good.
Okay, thank you.
It was a better analogy for a better film.
You call my analogy bad?
No. Okay, so the film was originally written to have Corey Feldman continue to be, the star here as Tommy, but he was only able to make a cameo at the very beginning because he was working on The Goonies at the time, which was released the same year. So Feldman, he filmed his cameo on a Sunday that was his day off from shooting his other film. And all of the footage that he is in was apparently shot in the backyard of his family's home in LA with a rain machine to make it look like it was storming.
It's so wild to me that it's like, oh yeah, Corey Feldman couldn't be more involved in this giant piece of garbage because he was making one of the most celebrated child-led movies of all time.
Yeah. But no,
come on, man, come back to Friday.
Yeah, come and do this. And then Ted White, who had played Jason in Friday the 13th, the final chapter, he has said in interviews that he was offered the opportunity to reprise his role, but he turned it down. And then he also said that he regretted that decision. But Ted, I don't think so. I think you're good, man.
I think you're good. I missed you. Yeah. I even said to you in our rewatches, like, this can't be the same guy because this is terrible. Because it's just like there was a way when you were a good physical performer that even limited to the direction of Jason is lumbering, Jason is slow, Jason is, all of the things that make him that make expression difficult. A talented physical performer can still do those things, Kane Hodder. But this guy's not great. However, for your career, you made the right call.
Yeah, absolutely. This film was shot in California in 1984, and it was released theatrically in March of 85. But 1 month prior to the film's release in the U.S., the MPAA demanded that 16 scenes featuring sex or graphic violence be edited to get that R rating. I guess they had to take it back to the MPAA at least 9 times before it was finally given that R rating. The director says that he's claimed in different interviews that he shot like a bunch of extra like sex for the movie because the idea was like, oh, well, I'm just putting that in so that the MPAA makes me cut that, but that way I'll get away with all the gore and the violence. But it didn't matter because they made him cut all of it. So,
so he was just a pervert for the benefit of no one but himself.
Yeah.
Really quickly, we were talking to Ted White in that moment to congratulate him on his choice. There is a couple problems with that. Number one, the chances of him listening to this are pretty slim. And number two, the reason for that is because he is dead.
Yeah.
He died a couple years ago.
Let's pour one out for Ted White.
Okay. It's water. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine. I think that's fine.
If you're an alcoholic.
That's what Jason drowned in, right?
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Or nearly drowned.
Okay. I was going to ask alcoholics if that's disrespectful, but I think that's disrespectful to them. I encourage you on your journey. Derek, please continue before I eat the foot I'm putting in my mouth.
The film was initially going to set up a new trilogy of films with this different villain for the series. But yeah, because fans didn't like it and the box office receipts showed that, people weren't going to see it as much as the last two. They switched back to Jason, like I said. After this film, director Danny Steinmann was actually lined up to direct like a further 5 movies, including apparently a sequel to The Last House on the Left. But they all fell through. He was actually involved in a really bad bicycle accident that almost killed him not long after this movie was released. And he spent years recuperating from it and then never returned to filmmaking. And then kind of lastly, talking about Jason Voorhees and kind of his importance and his different performers in this film, because you always have multiple people who this is the person who's the stuntman in the thing, and then who does like most of the walking around in those scenes, and then you have other people who are like, oh yeah, and then whenever he's unmasked, then he's this person. So in 1985, stuntman and actor Tom Morga portrayed Jason in A New Beginning for like Tommy's hallucinations, except for the opening dream sequence and whenever he, I think it's whenever he falls out of the barn at the end.
Okay.
In those times, he's played by a stuntman named John Hawk, who he had personally selected to kind of like cover for him whenever he couldn't do the stunt.
Okay.
Tom Morga also stunt doubled for Dick Wiend. Is that what we're deciding on?
I went back and forth on Wiend and like Waned.
Waned?
Yeah.
Who plays Roy Burns during the film.
Hey guys, Roy Burns is the killer at the end.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and just say that.
That's because if we don't, then this bit makes no sense.
It's gonna be nothing.
Yeah, that guy's the murderer.
Yeah, and so he played him. He doubled him for almost all the masked scenes except for the few that I already said.
Yeah,
but Morga we've actually talked about before. So Tom Morga had portrayed, or he will portray, Leatherface in the bridge scene of Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2 in '86.
Okay,
and then we talked about him because he also portrayed Michael Myers in the first half of Halloween 4: The Return of Michael Myers before being replaced by George P. Wilbur.
Okay.
So he is the only actor to play Jason, Michael, and Leatherface.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Oh no, but does that count?
I mean, it in a little bit.
It counts in like a spiritual sense. Okay.
Yeah, because it's like he played Leatherface for literally like a scene or two in Texas Chainsaw 2, and he plays like his footage is still in parts of 4.
Right.
Halloween 4.
Yeah.
He's just, doesn't get the credit.
It's namely because he's not actually portraying Jason.
Okay, I see what you mean.
But the
he's
performance is of Jason.
well, yeah, and he's portraying Jason. Anytime that you see Jason from like Tommy's point of view, like whenever he looks out the
or
window,
like in the hospital. Okay,
yes, that's him. So
damn, that's really cool.
yeah, it's a cool little
If
factoid.
he's still alive, good for him. And if he's not, I've already poured mine out, so I don't have anything else to pour.
Yeah, I'm very thirsty.
I'm poor, so I'll get out.
John Hawk, who is the guy who had done the for the opening dream sequence with Tommy Jarvis, young Tommy Jarvis, he was that stunt work was done by John Hawk. He had done stunt work in The Blues Brothers, Commando, Three Amigos, Rambo 3, Elvira, Total Recall, Arachnophobia, Tombstone, Wild Wild West. And then he also did stunts for a movie called Lightning Jack in 1994, which stars Paul Hogan, who is Crocodile Dundee,
Yeah.
and Cuba Gooding Jr.
Okay.
So that's Lightning Jack.
Okay. Good.
And then if we want to go even deeper here, Cuba Gooding Jr. was also, of course, in the film Snow Dogs from 2002, which features a character named Thunderjack, who is a character who has apparently been struck by thunder twice.
Okay. That's insane. From just every perspective you could have, that doesn't make any sense. But it is insane now that in the last 2 episodes to our jack off, we have added Shoulder Jack, Thunder Jack, and Lightning Jack.
Yeah, I did that for you.
I know. And what's funny is you get to that factoid and your face lit up. And I was like, ooh, what is this going to... Because normally you're like, this person was in this thing you really love. But now it's about if we could do a pun that's 2 syllables and then Jack. Except Kangaroo Jack. That's the...
Yeah, the best example. And then Dick Warlock was the stunt coordinator for A New Beginning. But he's also known, as we've talked many times, for playing Michael Myers in Halloween 2. Apparently during the filming of A New Beginning, Dick Warlock and fellow stuntman Tom Morga, they posed for pictures on set dressed as both Jason and Michael Myers. So when you find those pictures online, that's what's going on there.
That's fun. I like that.
I know who it is.
What?
I said I know who it is.
Who?
It's Jason Voorhees.
Jason Voorhees? You're out of your fucking mind. You've been out in the sun too long. Jason Voorhees is dead. His body was cremated. He's nothing but a handful of ash.
You know that for sure, Mayor? Were you there? Did you see him cremated?
Jason Voorhees. Yeah. I can't believe this. Here. This is your Jason Voorhees here. This. Your ass is on the line here, Tucker. Are you getting that? You get me a goddamn live suspect.
2 things that make that scene stand out for me is fucking dumb.
Okay.
Is number 1, they don't know what this town is like, obviously, from the perspective. It's like all of the movies leading up to now, you kind of feel what the area around Crystal Lake is like. You have an understanding. But so you are in a podunk, like Barney Fife sheriff station with the sheriff. And then there is a cop who's like kind of in the background who's obviously sleeping.
Right.
Like he's got the big key ring on his hip. And then the other thing is like the cop's like, listen here, you son of a bitch. It's Jason Voorhees. And then the mayor's like, listen, you fucking bastard. It ain't Jason. And it's like, who are you guys for? It's like if Dean Martin was the mayor in a Clint Eastwood movie. It makes no sense to me. I don't know. This is beginning the thread of all of this. You mentioned in our nuts and bolts discussion about the production of this movie that they shot the beginning of this movie in Corey Feldman's backyard.
Yeah. Yeah. It's we open this movie a little differently than the ones before it because we don't have a scene to just go, hey, remember what happened? Let me show you the ending of the movie prior.
Do you know why that's not in here?
Why?
Because if it was, that would be the best part of the movie. Because it would be footage of a bunch of better movies.
That's a good point.
And Jack Steinmann was like, no, I'm not doing that.
Instead, we get Corey Feldman playing, Tommy Jarvis, walking through the woods in a storm wearing a yellow rain slicker, and he finds the grave site of Jason Voorhees.
Yes.
Before two guys, just random dudes, show up in the middle of the storm with shovels they're very excited to uncover.
Dig up Jason Voorhees.
Dig up Jason. They got to see the big man or whatever the guy says.
This scene matters so little that I don't want to spend a lot of time dissecting it. What I will say is that why in your dream do you need strangers to dig him up? Why wouldn't he just burst out of the fucking hole in the ground?
Right.
And number two, you pointed this out. That grave is fucking shallow.
It's like maybe 6 inches of dirt over it.
Like a mild thunderstorm and that dude is sliding out of the ground. Like,
my favorite part of this whole thing is the guys like uncover it, crack open the coffin.
Right.
And then Jason is revealed to have been buried in his hockey mask.
Right.
Holding a machete and some other form of weapon. I think it's an ice pick when he stabs the second guy in the throat.
Right. By the way, he uses the machete to kill one of them, and then he uses an ice pick to stab the other one in the throat. We got that out of the way. Really quick, the effects in this movie are god awful, and we'll go over how god awful they are.
Yeah, typically in my production notes, I'm like, oh yeah, let's talk about the special effects and the makeup and all that. I don't really have a lot of there's nothing to really talk about.
There's no genius of Tom Savini or Greg Nicotero. There's nobody. It's just a conglomerate of names that all faded into obscurity, hopefully. But yeah, it makes no sense. And then it was all a dream. So who cares?
Because we snap to who we have to assume is an older Tommy Jarvis.
And we have to assume that because he's wearing the glasses still. He has a completely different face, different eye color. He has different hair color. Everything is different. But he's got those glasses on. And that's how you can tell it's Harry Potter.
Yeah. You know that by his glasses. You know the killer by their boots.
Right.
Everybody knows that.
Everybody knows that.
But yeah, he is. So Tommy's being dropped off at the Pinehurst Youth Development Center, which is, like you said in the summary, it is like a halfway house for wayward teens.
Yeah, it's like a shithead kid school, which is like, oh, I didn't know. I guess they do have those, or like juvenile detention, like rehabilitation, whatever. But so the first thing I want to say about this place, because this is one of only like 3 set pieces that matter in this movie.
Yeah.
But it is like a big house. It's not a facility. It's like a big house. And then the children, I'm trying to get you guys to feel I'm flapping my arms.
He's
to do
flapping
air
his
quotes.
arms, guys.
I took flight for a moment because of how enraged I am. No, the kids are between the ages of what seem to be like the patient kids are the ages of what seems to be between 16 and 44. Because some of the kids are like, oh yeah, I went to high school with people that look like that. And some of them I'm like, you have 4 kids and they need the paycheck that you're getting from this movie.
Yeah. It is it's like, this is the last place that they're, I guess, this is where they go to interact with other people and kind of get set for, going back into regular life.
Yeah. However, the whole thing is horribly mismanaged, and everybody is really awful. They're all like caricatures of awful people.
Yeah.
Except the kid with the stutter, but who gives a shit about? Like, it's just like, it is all a cartoon. This movie is a cartoon. I think that's a really good launching off point. Is the Corey Feldman bit is stupid, but then the rest of the movie is a cartoon.
Let's do some introductions first.
Oh God.
Tommy Jarvis.
Yep.
Being played in this movie for the majority of it by John Shepard, who was in The Hunt for Red October, the 1990 spy thriller.
Okay.
He was in Down Periscope, which is the 96 comedy, like submarine comedy.
So submarine movies.
Uh-huh.
Okay. That makes sense because this one went under really fast.
That was really good.
Makes sense.
And then he was in the supernatural horror film from 2000 called Bless the Child, which is directed by Chuck Russell, who directs Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Okay.
Which we'll be talking about next week.
He's also in another paranormal movie called Ghost Submarine.
If only.
That's so weird to just, I don't know why. It's so specific in your filmography to be in 2 submarine movies.
Like within, not long of each other.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Down Periscope is like a parody of Hunt for Red October.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
That'd be so funny.
Pam Roberts is played by Melanie Kinnaman. She was in 7 episodes of General Hospital. She's in the 85 music drama film Thunder Alley, and she's in a sports drama from 89 called Best of the Best. And then the Pinehurst Youth Development Center is run by Dr. Matthew Letter, who's played by Richard Young. He was in The Ice Pirates, which was an 84 sci-fi comedy. He was in a 89 sci-fi horror film called Lords of the Deep, which is produced by Roger Corman. And then you may know him from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. He is the man with the fedora in the beginning, the opening scene with young Indy. He gives Indiana Jones his hat.
I don't like that at all.
Uh-huh.
I don't like that that's who he is in retrospect now.
Yeah.
Well, he's ruined Indiana Jones for me.
Tommy is very different than we have last seen him as Corey Feldman.
Number one, he is an MMA fighter, which we'll find out at some point.
He is almost nonverbal.
Yeah, and he is a huge asshole.
Yeah.
He is insufferable in this movie. It's the saddest part because my favorite part of everybody's favorite part of Final Chapter is Corey Feldman as Tommy Jarvis. He's funny, he's cute, he's quirky, he's believable as a kid. This guy is not believable as a human being. He is a bizarre thing to see.
Yeah, I don't care for his performance.
No. Or the writing, because that's the mark of a truly bad performance is what he's saying is bad, or a true bad movie. What he's saying is bad, and the way he's saying it is bad.
Which is wild, because I think he only says about 24 words in this movie.
And 15 of those are Jason.
Yeah. We get a quick little thing where he's like unpacking in his room, and he has a picture of his mom, his sister, and his dog Gordon from the previous film, which I thought in the rewatch, I had the same thought, and you pointed out just like, hey, at least they didn't just take a still from the movie and try and pass it off as a photograph. This looks like, mom and sister are just kind of sitting on the porch, laughing. So that's kind of nice. But then we also find that he has a pocket knife that he hides under his mattress. And then he meets Reggie. Reggie the Reckless is played by Shavar Ross. He was in 43 episodes of Different Strokes, the show with Gary Coleman. He was in 13 episodes of Family Matters, the Steve Urkel, Jaleel White show.
Okay.
And then he's in the 93 music drama What's Love Got to Do With It, which is a Tina Turner movie. Because Reggie scares Tommy with like a rubber spider. And then it is revealed that Tommy has kept up with his mask making. And he scares Reggie wearing the same mask that we see Tommy in for the first time in the final chapter.
This is what bothers me about this.
Okay.
It's a cute thing in part 4 that little Tommy makes masks and he likes this stuff. It's fucking creepy in this one because it's like, why do you have those? And also, like, he's like, yeah, I made these when I was young. And it's like, why did you bring them with you? You're basically in jail. Why would the thing you be, I'm going to bring 2 shirts, 2 undies, 1 shorts, and my masks. It's like, oh, I hope you don't do anything weird with those.
Well, he couldn't possibly.
No, he doesn't do anything with them because it amounts to nothing and there's no payoff.
Yes and no. I have a theory, and we will talk about it toward the end.
Okay.
Okay.
I think developing a theory about this movie is more indicative of a sickness on your part than anything else. But sure.
It's not even. We'll get into it.
Okay.
later.
All right.
Okay. Reggie is a little kid who is not. He's not like at Pinehurst, but I guess he hangs around a lot because his grandfather is the cook. And then the cops show up, and we're introduced to a bunch of other people, which I will not bother going into right this second. I will introduce them later because I don't care. But mainly the sheriff is there to drop off two of the teens who have been caught having sex on the property of Ethel Hubbard, who then also shows up with her idiot son, Junior.
And these characters are, Ethel and Junior are meant to be a laugh. I think they are meant to be like comedic relief, and they aren't. It is the most juvenile, asinine, bizarre, boring, tiresome. It's all the negative words that I can think of.
Yeah.
They are, and she is truly awful.
Yeah. The only thing that she does in this movie that I find entertaining for a moment is in this moment whenever she's like, lock up all these loonies in the loony bin, they need to be, whatever. And then the sheriff takes a step toward her to kind of like calm her down. And she's like, don't you come near me. I've got a bomb. I will blow us all up if you take one step toward me. And just the idea that she is threatening a cop by saying she has a bomb on her person.
Right. She has a lot of like pull quotes in this that aren't, it's like they're not funny so much as they're ironically funny. It's like a meme. You big dildo, eat your fucking slop. I'm going to chop you up. Like, yeah, and every time she says one of those lines, I think the audience is expected to be like, oh, and instead it's just like, oh my God, it's so cringy.
Yeah, it is awful.
And the son is worse.
Yes, honestly.
I can't say the line. I'm not allowed to say that line because I'm a decent person who wants to be decent as I present outward to people around me. And I don't want to insult anybody or hurt anybody's feelings. But there is a line that Robert Downey Jr. in blackface, which is apparently fine, delivers to Ben Stiller. And he talks about Dustin Hoffman's performance in Rain Man versus Ben Stiller's character's performance in a fictional movie called Simple Jack. And I won't finish it, but he says, you never go full. And then he says the final word, which I won't say. But this guy did do that. And I agree with Robert Downey Jr.'s character, Kirk Lazarus. I don't know why I know so much about Tropic Thunder.
Yeah,
but
that's bizarre.
I think I've only seen that movie once. But anyway, it is horribly embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
My favorite part of everything that you just said is that we've added Simple Jack to the jack off.
Yes. Thank you. You made all this. If that's what this took to get that bit into this episode, fine.
Okay. We made it.
We made it, guys.
Best
of the Bay.
And then finally the sheriff is just like, he checks with Matt to see like, hey, Tommy Jarvis is here now. Is he doing all right? Like, what's that kid about? Because the whole point of this movie, as we kind of talked in production, is they're trying to quote unquote set up Tommy to be the killer.
Right.
Now we move on to the what in the story circle would be our like our inciting incident.
Yeah.
Where Joey.
Okay. If you've heard us talk before about any of these movies, you've heard us reference the character because there's like a character archetype that you and I have kind of discovered and pinpointed, which is in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the character in the wheelchair is named Franklin. And Franklin is awful. He is whiny and just a terrible person. And he seems kind of slow and he's bad to watch. It's frustrating and annoying. So then we referenced him, I think, most recently in part 3, Friday the 13th 3D, where Shelly, the character who is like, these jokes of my life, these pranks, it's just a prank, bro. He reminds us a lot of Franklin. This character reminds me a lot of Franklin, but then also reminds me of the way it feels in the back of your neck to truly feel rage. But it's a different kind of reminder. It's like, it reminds you because you're going through it. You see him and you feel more hatred than you thought possible at any point.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm taking this too far, but again, you are more forgiving typically than I am.
Yeah, no, I get that. Like, I understand this character. He is someone who, an indeterminate age,
40 years old,
but is mentally challenged.
Sure.
I don't know if that's the correct term anymore.
It possibly is. I don't know. What I think it's more about intention. You're clearly not meaning anything wrong. What I will say is that he is supposed to, I believe, be innocence in a corrupt place.
Yes.
However, that doesn't work here because you haven't set up the place being corrupt yet. And his innocence is annoying.
Yeah.
So really, he's the thorn in the side of both the fiction you're watching and your eyeballs.
Yeah.
He puts a thorn in your eyeballs.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he's 40. I'd say he looks like he's in his mid 30s.
But then the person that so Joey goes over, he's eating chocolate. He goes over and kind of annoys the girls.
All over his face.
Yeah. It's supposed to be comical, but it's like, I don't know if that happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know how much of this is supposed to be funny. How much of this is tragic?
He goes over, he's got chocolate all over his face, all over his hands. And he tries to help two of the girls hanging laundry, ruins that. So then he goes over to, if Joey is our image of innocence in this film, Vic...
It's like a giant, it's like the Immortan Joe's car from Mad Max versus like a Prius.
Yes, that is a perfect analogy. See, you're back.
I'm back, baby.
Because Vic is just the most rage-filled person I've ever seen.
And they don't. Here's the thing: if they set it up, if one person had been like, and I normally spend the time coaching, in hindsight, coaching these directors who are a lot of which are dead about what I would have done different, which I have no right to do. But what I will say is that if they had spent a second being like, oh, hey, Tommy, watch out for him. He's like a fucking psycho.
Right.
Like we think he killed his dad or something. Like he's a fucking maniac. Watch out for him. They don't do that. This is the first time you're meeting this character and he has teeth grit, red faced, chopping a log apart. Just like, fuck. It's like, what's going on with you, man?
But he's like not even chopping it properly.
No.
Because it's not set up on its end to cut down.
Yeah.
He's just hacking it in two.
Yeah. He's hitting it with the flat of the axe.
He might as well be.
He's like, I'm putting this through that. And then fucking, oh God, I don't know his name. Joey, thank you. He walks up and he's like, hey, Vic, you want some chocolate? I'll give you one of my chocolate bars. And not seeing death stare him in the face because Vic, and this is one of those moments where I was like, oh my God, movie, shut the fuck up. Because it's this kid going, and I don't normally give people chocolate, but I'll give you chocolate if you want chocolate. So, they over there said they didn't want and he's just on and on and on. And Vic's performer is hitting the log harder. I might as well just be karate chopping it at this point. He's hitting it harder and harder and harder. Wood is flying everywhere. Spit is flying everywhere. His teeth are clenched. He's just looking at him with pure rage until eventually he's basically like, I don't remember the line, but he's like, shut the fuck up. And Joey's like, Joey's line sticks with me because it is so stupid and poorly performed. He goes, fine, be that way. And he turns around and he walks off.
And then Vic,
that's the final straw. Is like, oh, what? You came to bother me and now you're just walking away? You're doing what I told you. You're doing what I told you to do and you're leaving? Not on Vic's watch. Why are we laughing so hard about this?
I don't know.
This is what happens. This is what happens in the delirium of these. Because we are in that unfortunate spot we've been in before where it's just shit back to back. It's like, no, we gave up our weeks for this.
But yeah, he murders Joey with the axe.
That's the other thing is you see the axe hit him in the back. And then ambulances have arrived. There is staff on site.
Mm-hmm.
And you have the reveal that they lift the fucking sheet.
Bloody sheet off of him.
He is in pieces.
Yeah, it's like one of his arms or legs is like flopped over on top of his back.
Yeah, somebody went out there and was like, well, fuck it. They piled him up like Jenga. But that's the other thing is all the teens are basically standing where they were before, and they're all looking horrified. And I pointed out to you that they watched this guy get chopped into pieces by a psycho. They stood and watched, and now they're like, oh my God. And it's like, well, what were you doing then? I get it. It's the 80s. You're in like a rural place. It's not like you can really call for help effectively, but like for them to just still be standing exactly where they are.
Yeah, it would be one thing if like Matt, the doctor, was standing on the porch and all the kids were inside looking out through the window.
Right.
But like Matt and Pam were like on the porch talking to the cops, and they're like, no, the kids, we've put them, away there, so they're safe. But it's like, no, they're all just hanging out.
Dr. Letter doesn't give a fuck, dude. Dr. Letter, not only did Dr. Letter not usher the children inside when one of the kids in his ward, one of his charges was chopped into meat. He didn't do anything about that. He gave the psycho one an axe. He's like, you know what? This kid obviously has like personality disorder and is like a nightmare psychopath. He's going to be the wood chopper. He's got big arms.
It's the only thing he's good at.
Do you think Vic's supposed to be a red herring?
Maybe. You see in the scene later when Demon is in the outhouse. That's
a real sentence, by the way. It'll make sense in a little bit.
You see Victor. You see a lot of graffiti in there, but Victor's name is on because it's Victor Faden, and they they spell it out whenever the cops are there. But his name is written on the bathroom wall, so it's like they may be trying to play with that. There's several people that they might have been trying to have a red herring as is that possibly the killer? They just don't do a good job of it.
Yeah, here's why that doesn't work. Immediately in the scene following when the ambulances, it's more of a hearse, but when that shows up, there is two people that are working this crime scene. There is a shorter blonde man who's like popping his gum, and he makes some snide remark about the kids being pussies because they're scared about the murder they just saw. And then there's another man who's taller, and his name is Roy, which we find out because the other guy, the blonde guy's like, hey, Roy, I need your help. And he's like, oh, sorry. Because he's lifted up the sheet and he goes through this facial journey. And I think they were hoping that it would play as like he's like shaken by this, but it doesn't. It is immediately and obviously like rage and like sorrow, and it's grief. He looks like he's like filled with grief. And so it is the strangest thing that they would go, oh yeah, we're going to give this really emotionally charged reaction to this scene, and then hope people realize that that's not the murderer.
Yeah. Now, I will say, watching it whenever I did originally, I didn't. It was not a, I see that on a first viewing. It's something, and there's several moments throughout the movie where Roy gets these little moments like that, and it's like, it's all there. It on a rewatch, you're like, yeah, it's clearly him. Yeah, I think it's the benefit of watching it older, and especially with the things I've watched up to that point. It was immediately abundantly clear. It's like, well, yeah, that camera guy has something to do with this. It's like the camera is focused on a man who has no lines. Like, obviously, he's got something. There's got to be more to that. Otherwise, they wouldn't focus on it. Now, I also overestimated the entire production of this film. Right. But, well, it's funny that you say that of like, we're focusing on a character that doesn't have any lines or doesn't have any real meaning to be here, because then our next scene is a pair of greasers. Yes. In 1985. It is just
It is. It is scene after scene. It's like Monty Python.
Yeah.
Except Monty Python is very funny.
It's like Paul Blart Mall Cop 2.
That's a good pull. Yeah, that's a good pull. It's a bad one, but it's a good one. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, they're two greaser kids, and again, they look like maybe late 20s. They do not discuss where they have come from. They do not discuss where they are going.
We get their names because they keep repeating them at each other.
Yeah, it's basically the only dialogue they had.
Pete and Vinny.
Yeah, the car break, and they are like, this movie is. It takes place in the mid 80s, and they are like.
Well, what's funny is because we've done a time jump, because if Friday the 13th, the final chapter, takes place in 1984.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Because it's 5 years after the events of Friday the 13th, which is when Pamela Voorhees died in 79, given by the dates in that movie.
Yeah.
This has now jumped.
It's got to be in the 90s.
An indeterminate amount of time but Corey Feldman has now become
a grown man.
Right.
Right.
So this now takes place like.
Yeah, this has to be like early, like 93, 94. That is so dumb.
But the robot is very popular. Or whatever Violet dances later.
Yeah, that's all I can do before.
But then it's even stranger that there are greasers here.
Yeah, greasers that are like, because you said they're from the 50s, but it really is just like, hey, what's the matter with you? Get out there, because their car breaks down. They're like, get out there and check the car. And he's like, hey, don't give me any crap. And then you have the best line of the movie, where the other one turns around and he says, quote, crap my ass.
It's a good line.
It sounds
I'm
like.
going to use it in life.
Yeah, it sounds like he's saying that he's had an accident. Like, I crap my ass.
Well, because he is going to use the bathroom. Like, he leaves.
Yeah.
There's a couple times in this movie where, there's a couple characters together, and then one of them has to find a reason to leave said place so that killer can kill first person, and then whenever they come back, they also get killed.
By the way, 2 of those times where 2 people are together and one of them leaves is to go to a bathroom. What if it's the same bathroom?
Yeah.
That bathroom is the barn of part 3, in spite of this movie also having a barn.
Thankfully, we're not stuck there as long.
No. Yeah, they die.
They die.
Yeah, none of the effects are good. The kills are done off camera for the first one, and the second one is
he gets a road flare in his mouth, so you see that a little bit, and it's like a dummy head, and it's for seconds that you see it,
infinitely too much of a dummy head.
Yeah,
it is
absolutely noticeable.
Yeah, it is. It is like a Spirit Halloween animatronic head, but it doesn't move at all.
And then the throat slit is like it's off camera, and then we see a terrible little appliance afterwards.
Yeah, it is. This is so much community theater. It is like a Sharpie drawn across the neck with a little bit of like, it's not even ketchup. It's like, oops, I did it too fast. And it's like that water like squirt.
Yeah.
I like that noise. I'm going to do it again. There it is.
Yeah, great. This is a tiny little scene later that we'll just jump to because I'll just mention it, is the cops eventually find this scene.
Yeah. And
Roy is there. And it's one of those moments where like the cop says something about, something weird going on. And then Roy pops up and he's like, did you say something to me? What? No, Roy, keep doing your thing. Oh, okay.
He's like, keep doing my thing. Which thing? The EMT work? Like the CSI work? Or are you talking about the murders?
Who said anything about murder?
Who said I am a murderer?
Well, you did right now.
And then he hits the button. He goes back down the elevator.
But after these kills, we cut to Tommy sweating, waking up in bed. And he hears, I guess this is as close as we get to seeing, because we hear the end of the final chapter several times throughout this, whenever he's kind of having his visions. And he sees, he gets up and he's taking some pills, and then he sees Jason behind him in the mirror.
Yes.
Now this Jason, whenever we see Jason in Tommy's visions, he's wearing the mask with the red arrows.
Yeah, and the green button down. The mask has the slit from the machete. Yeah, it's true to form.
Whereas much later we will get introduced to a different Jason.
True to the song lyrics, seeing that Jason, you don't know what you've got till it's gone.
Yes.
You take paradise and you put it in a hockey mask.
He goes downstairs to breakfast, And we're again kind of introduced to all the kids who live here at Pinehurst. Violet is kind of the like punk gothy sort of chick. Yeah. She has set too many places at the table this morning.
Yeah, they're mad because she said she absentmindedly set a place at the table for the kid who's dead, who by the way they all hate. In at 10 minutes ago in this movie, they're all like, "Fuck you, Joey, you piece of shit," and now they're like, "He's God." Oh, I didn't mean to Loomis there, but yeah, that's what it's a conundrum. And then Tommy, some kid says some shit to Tommy, and this is where we see his training pay off because he fucking suplexes out of nowhere. He like slams this dude into, it looks like a sink.
Yeah, it's like a dry sink or something, but it's like a table with like stuff on it that he just demolishes.
He smashes him through it. And then fucking, what is it, Pam is like, "Oh, boys, don't do that, Tommy. That's bad." And it's like, oh, how much better would this movie have been if he was just like, "Oh, yeah?" And Tommy runs up and does that to her. And then one by one, every kid is like, "Hey," until Vic chops him up.
Who let him out?
Roy.
Yeah, he flips Eddie because Eddie had like gone into his room and taken one of his masks.
That's Lisp Kid, right?
No.
Oh my fucking God.
Eddie is the guy who goes off with Tina in the woods.
Oh, okay. So like the cool one.
Yeah.
Okay. Eddie, guys, Eddie's the cool one.
Yeah, he's wearing a shirt from Dan Flash's.
Yeah. And it's got to have been, real expensive.
Real expensive.
Did we just go to say the exact same thing at the same time?
Yeah.
That's why we're loving. That's why we do a podcast.
Do we need to kiss?
We already have.
Uh-huh. We moved to a pointless scene at the Hubbard's farm.
I was going to ask which one. Oh, yeah. I want to address this one because this one is where she calls Junior a big dildo and then tells him to eat his fucking slop, which is great. And in hindsight, not for the sake of the movie's comedy, but for the sake of just having a laugh.
Yeah.
That is very
hilarious.
You big dildo. But then a man shows up out of nowhere. And the man says, which I think is also supposed to be a red herring.
I assume.
But he walks up and he's like, "Howdy, ma'am. I can work your farm if you want and just let me live on your property." Like a fucking John Wayne movie. Yeah. And she's like, "Go clean out chicken shit." And it's like, I'm not really even doing any of these voices too silly. But then he's like, "You got it." And he leaves. And that's the scene, is to introduce somebody into the plot who's working the farm next to the home for gifted youngsters. Yeah. But that while there is no mutants there is also no reason because of a scene very close to now wherein that has no payoff as well.
Yeah. I assume that guy, so the drifter guy, I guess has a name, Raymond.
Nobody loves him though.
No. He's played by Sonny Shields, and I think the only reason he got this job is that he was the stunt coordinator for The Unseen, which was directed by Danny Steinmann. Okay. So they knew each other there. Weird. Ethel Hubbard is played by Carol Locatel. She was in Coffee, which was the blaxploitation film from 1973 starring Pam Grier. She is in three movies, Paternity, Sharky's Machine, and Best Friends, that all star Burt Reynolds.
Okay.
And then she's in a lot of TV work from the late 60s to the late 2010s. And she is in a 2021 slasher film called 13 Fanboy. I've never seen it. Okay. But it pops up a lot. Like half this cast is in that movie because the movie itself is like a meta horror slasher about a super fan of the Friday the 13th movies who then stalks and kills people who were in the movies.
What the fuck? That's amazing. The other thing that's amazing is that from time to time you're like, "Oh yeah, this person has," and when you don't say "done nothing else," I'm floored. I'm like, this chick was in other stuff.
Yeah, she did a lot of TV work.
Well, apparently she also touched Burt Reynolds like right on his butt, and he loved it, and he was like, "I'm gonna put you in more movies."
That's what we have to assume. And then Junior is...
Oh, God, please don't bother.
Yeah, he is also in 13 Fanboy, and then he's done a bunch of other, like fan films, horror Friday the 13th and a Nightmare on Elm Street fan film.
In a movie that I don't like,
Mhm.
in a movie that I kind of loathe, he is the most loathsome creature.
Yes.
He is meant to be what plays as like a sort of Sawyer family inbred, like hillbilly psycho man baby.
That's really what it feels like.
But he's wearing like visually he reminds me of like an undead cousin Eddie from Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
Like Randy Quaid. Because he's wearing like the pilot's helmet and he's got the goggles.
We'll go to the diner with Billy.
Yeah. Who you said to me, you were like, I never realized that this is the guy that drops Tommy off in the beginning.
Quite literally.
I'm amazed by that because the guy looks like if somebody put a blindfold on you, a pen in your hand and a paper on the table and said, draw a sleazeball.
Yeah.
Like that's who you'd draw.
Yeah. You're not wrong. I think it's to do with I don't like this movie.
No.
And so and so typically it's not like I go out of my way to rewatch it.
No, of course not.
And so it'll typically be like years between watches.
Sure.
Whereas like this week we watched it and then immediately rewatched it. And I was like, oh my God, that's the dude. And I think the other reason that it's taken me this long to piece that together is because of the greaser scene.
Okay.
Because in this scene at the diner, we're reintroduced to Billy.
Right.
Who he was one of the drivers who dropped Tommy off at Pinehurst at the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But he meets up with Lana,
yeah.
who works at the diner. And so because the greaser scene had already happened and it's like, okay, two people who we don't know who they are, they show up for their little scene, they get murdered. And then this scene happens like 2 scenes later. And it's like, okay, 2 more people in a different location that we have never seen before. And then they get murdered. What does any of this have to do with anything other than a quota? And so that's what I've always just kind of felt, I think.
It makes total sense. It makes total sense. I mean, that's the greater part of this scene is exactly that. It is exactly to serve that. Yes, they've recycled a character, but it's not like they've recycled a character that we've spent any time with or gotten to know.
No.
It might as well just be a random guy.
Which is why, in a very similar way, that when it's revealed to be Roy at the end, it's like, who?
Right, because if it had been Bill the driver, it would have been the same level of like, what the fuck? If he had a weird facial journey when he dropped fucking Tommy off.
Yeah.
The only thing that's worth mentioning in this entire scene, because it's stupid, is he's there, Bill is there to pick up Lana because they're gonna fuck.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna fuck each other. And he says that. And she's like, yes, we're gonna fuck. And he's like, we're gonna fuck. But his voice is more like, we're gonna fuck. And she's like, yes.
All of this happened.
Yeah, that's the dialogue. It might as well be. But she goes into the diner to change clothes from her work uniform into going out clothes. Because they're going to fuck. And she, for no reason other than the tits and ass quota, right? Teen quota.
Right.
Is she goes, it's, and then as she says the word showtime, like Beetlejuice, she yanks her shirt open and her boobies come out. And she just like has them out for a second. And then the camera cuts away.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this is all just terrible. This is all just to pad the runtime and to exploit your actress, you fucking creep.
Yeah, pretty much. Like both of them in this scene, like many people in this whole movie, just say things out loud talking to themselves.
It is very much this feels good from
Yeah.
part 3. That's what the series seems to default on is, well, we've never heard a person talk to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
We talk to ourselves a lot because we're all horribly lonely. So I guess that's how dialogue is. Write that down, Barney. Clack, 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 clack.
But they are quickly dispatched here with an axe to the back of the head.
Yep.
And then whenever Lana comes out and finds, actually she sees the killer's boots.
Mm-hmm.
So she knows it's the killer.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's also killed with an axe.
They try to do the quick cut kills here where it's like very like sporadic
Mm-hmm.
and very jarring. And the effect is so bad. And like the way the stunt is performed into the camera is so bad that it doesn't work and it's stupid.
Yeah, the thing that they do a ton of in this movie I noticed is snap zooms.
Yeah.
So anytime that like a murder happens, we get a lot of like snap zoom onto people's eyes for reactions.
Yeah. But the reaction shot is of things that weren't handled well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you can't make this interesting no matter how hard you try.
Right.
And that's not a very creative way to do it. Like the way Sam Raimi handles snap zooms throughout his career is like it almost defines him because it's always from the perfect angle. It's always got the perfect lens and it's always capturing a reaction that is so wonderfully performed because Bruce Campbell, like 90% of the time is Bruce Campbell, or it's a Spider-Man mask, but it's so ubiquitous with his work and it's so much fun to watch. And so when they do, what's funny is that when I see a bad snap zoom, I'm like mad on his behalf. I know he didn't invent the technique, but he sure as fuck put his name on it.
Yeah. We fade to black here, and which happens before the other or after the other murders earlier. And then we come back up to Tommy staring out the window. And so again, it's this thread that they're trying to bring along of Tommy is the killer.
And he looks down and he sees Michael standing in the laundry. And then he looks away for a second. He looks back out the window and Michael's gone. Except it's Jason, but it's exactly the same shit. Like it's the same shit.
Yeah. This is where we actually get our clip with the sheriff and the mayor.
Mayor Dean Martin, the Sheriff Clint Eastwood.
The only thing I'll say about the Sheriff Tucker is played by Marco St. John. He is in the 82 horror remake of Cat People. The original was in 1942. And then he was in the Thomas Jane The Punisher film from 2004 as the police chief.
Oh, weird.
And then he was in Fantastic Four, the Josh Trank version in 2015 as the military official at Area 57. But, I mean, other than our clip, I mean, that's the whole scene.
Yeah.
So you've heard it.
No Q-tip in the world is going to pull that back out of your head.
Let's move on to director Danny Steinmann's favorite film to shoot or favorite scene to shoot between Tina and Eddie, who sneak off into the woods to have sex.
Yeah, in a surprise twist, the woman who is the subject of this sex sequence, his last name is Voorhees. Yeah.
Deborah Voorhees plays Tina McCarthy. She was in a 84 slasher called Innocent Play. She was in a 85 action thriller Avenging Angel. And she was in Appointment with Fear, a horror movie from 85, which is produced by Mustafa Akkad.
Oh.
And then, strangely enough, she's also in 13 Fanboy, that slasher movie, playing herself. But she also is the director of that film.
What the fuck?
Uh-huh.
What the fuck? Okay, what's the other guy?
Eddie Kelso, who is the guy who Tommy flipped in the earlier scene.
Kelso?
Yeah. Is played by John Robert Dixon. And he is in Assault of the Killer Bimbos, an 88 action comedy starring Elizabeth Caton, who plays Robin in Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood.
Everything that you said, you looked at me like, oh, see? You know... I have no idea. I can't even put a face to the name. I have no idea.
No. It's a movie we haven't talked about on the show yet, but we will get to.
I've only seen it once.
That's the only other credit that he has.
Wow. I'm going to rush through this because it doesn't fucking matter, but there's two things that are important. The first thing that's important is you said her name is Tina McCarthy?
Yeah. I think this is our second Tina in the franchise.
Yeah. She... I don't know how to say this. I'll use an acronym. She has BFTs. So that's why she's used here. I have heard in an interview about the production of this movie how uncomfortable Mr. Steinmann made the actresses feel. He would scream horrible things. He would porn direct them, do this to her, do that to him. And he's just shouting that shit at them. I cannot imagine how uncomfortable that, because they're also clearly outside.
Yeah.
That's going to be so awkward. But they, for no reason at all, escape out into nowhere and they bang each other. And then he gets up and I'm pretty sure he says, I'm going to go pee.
Probably.
And he walks off. A third set of people that need to go to the bathroom and leave them alone. She is laying and looking up. And then, we talked about in Curse of Michael Myers, when the guy goes down into the basement and he clearly has to have walked over a corpse to get to the washing machine.
Right.
It is like an unbelievable lack of awareness. She is laying on the ground looking up, and then her eyes tilt like 10 degrees downwards, and she's like, like now she's seen him.
Yeah. Like, I guess she's like closing her eyes from amounts of time, but we keep cutting from looking down at her to looking from her, vantage point up, like seeing the trees and the sky and everything. But it's an odd, just kind of like not there, and then someone is there all of a sudden.
Yeah. This is my favorite kill of the movie.
Yeah, I would agree.
It is creative. Like, these two kills are creative. They are poorly done. But it is great taste, awful execution. Jason stands above her with a pair of hedge trimmers, and he shoves them down into her. What we find out is her eyes, essentially. And then there's like, he struggles with it for a second and then snips it shut.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's fucking disgusting.
That's the part that sells it.
Yeah. And then boyfriend comes back a little bit later to discover that. And the effect is basically like if you took a bunch of gelatin and you mixed it with like whatever raspberry flavor, but you added a little bit extra food coloring and you just like mashed it into her eye holes. That's what the effect looks like. It's like all that cool work for nothing. And then he goes to run away. And then my second favorite kill, because I don't think I've ever seen anything else like this to this point.
No, the closest that we've kind of seen is in part 2, whenever Ralph is choked back against the tree with the barbed wire.
Yes. Okay. Oh, I remember when life was simple and we had crazy old Ralph.
Yeah.
And the funniest thing you've ever said, crazy old Ralphette.
Yeah.
His wife. Please subscribe, guys. So he's running away and he's like backed up against a tree, and Roy wraps a belt with like a link. I don't know. It's a piece of leather with rings. It doesn't fucking matter. He wraps it around his forehead and then takes a stick in between the two rings and like a fulcrum, he twists it so the belt tightens and tightens and tightens, and you hear like a crunchy, squelchy sound where he's like crushed his skull doing that. And then he falls down, and there's just like a little bit of like, if you took like gelatin, like, I don't know, raspberry gelatin, you added more food coloring, you mashed it on his face.
Oh,
that's all the effects in this movie are Jell-O.
Pretty much. The other thing that happens in this, because you know how you said like, hey, do you think that Ethel was like, were they setting the drifter guy up to possibly be the killer, like as a red herring?
Right.
No, because the only other time we see him is he's just, I guess, wandering through the woods and spots this teen couple having sex in the woods.
And he was trying to find the chicken coop, and he ended up finding some cock.
That shouldn't be as funny as it is.
We're delirious.
But yeah, he's just kind of stabbed in the gut and dies.
Well, yeah, because he's watching underage people have sex with each other.
Oh, well then Roy in this case is the hero.
Sure.
We then move to my favorite scene, probably in the my favorite sequence in the whole thing.
Okay.
Which is Pam takes Reggie and Tommy to see Reggie's brother, Demon.
His brother's name is Demon.
Yeah. Even the grandfather calls him that. So, like, we're not given what his,
It's not like, this is my brother, he's Reggie's. So this is my brother, Roger.
Right.
And Roger's like, I go by Demon. It's like, this is my brother, Demon. And Pam's like, wow. They go to a trailer park where Demon lives with his girlfriend.
Yeah. Well, he's back in town, and it's like it's a trailer park
because the neon sign says trailer park.
That, but then like it's a bizarre little set because we don't really see enough of it. It's like we see him parked on the side of the road, and we see the outhouse.
Yeah.
But yeah, the neon sign says trailer park.
But he lives in a van down by the river.
Yes.
And I don't know, I can't remember the name of the girl. Her performance is terrible. But the door opens, and Demon, who is great and dressed up like Eddie Murphy and has his hair in like Eddie Murphy in the leather jacket and whatnot, but instead of red, it's black. And he's got like Jerry curls, and like his look is so good. He's so cool. And he's like, "What's up, little man?" and gives him a big hug. Their dynamic is really good.
I love their interactions. I love their dynamic as brothers.
His performance is real. Demon's performance is, I think, my favorite part of this movie.
Yeah, it absolutely is mine. Demon's played by Miguel A. Nunez Jr. Same year he would be in The Return of the Living Dead. He plays Spider in that film. The guy who plays Vic from, who kills Joey, he is also in Return of the Living Dead. And his character's name in that movie is Suicide, which is badass.
Damn.
Miguel Nunez was also in Street Fighter. He plays DJ in the 1994 film. He was in Leprechaun 4 in 96. And then he was also in Scooby-Doo, the live action 2002 movie.
Oh my God, yes, he is. He's the bartender on Spooky Island.
Yeah. Voodoo Maestro is what they have him credited as.
I am floored by this. This is the best day of my life. Fuck Ghost. I want to see this guy. Oh, is he alive? I'm going to Google that while you continue to let people know.
And then he's also in Black Dynamite from 2009. He plays a character who I believe's name is Mo Bitches.
Mo Bitches.
But I love I love everything that this dude does in this movie, because it's like the way that Reggie introduces, Reggie's super excited to see Anita, Demon's girlfriend, and then he introduces Pam as his girlfriend.
Yeah.
It's funny for a little 12-year-old to be like, this is my,
The weird part about that, though, is that the Anita and Demon are just like, "Oh, good job, Reggie," but then no one's like, "Okay, anyway, haha," and it's like the conversation keeps going, and it's like, Demon, do you? He's kidding.
Yeah.
You get that, right?
I think he gets it.
Probably.
But then it's this string of Demon "Oh man, you hungry? You want these enchiladas? No? You want these tacos? No? What? I got pizza.
He's got a van that is the Mary Poppins equivalent of junk food. He while this is happening on the outside, because I hate this scene. So
it's awful. Tommy goes out and he's staring at the trailer park neon sign.
Why is he there?
Why did he go with them? Because Matt thought it would be good for him.
Any reason why? No? All right.
No.
So yeah, and then Junior pulls up on his dirt bike and he almost hits him with it. He's like, "Haha, you thought I was gonna hit you." And then Tommy beats the fuck out of him. Because again, Tommy is truly the UFC heavyweight champion of the world. He whips the shit out of him. And then Junior's like, "Oh, ow." And he gets back on his bike and he drives away. That's what Tommy does during our main character beats a mentally disabled man on the street outside of a trailer park where a man named Demon is hanging out with his young kid brother, Reggie, and his adult girlfriend, Pam.
When you say all of that together like that, I still don't like this movie.
Yeah, when you say all of that together like that, it makes us need to pursue new hobbies.
Yeah.
Make new friends.
Pam stops Tommy from whatever, beating Junior, and then Tommy runs off into the night.
Mm-hmm.
And so Pam and Reggie just go back to Pinehurst.
Right.
And this is where we get
those damn enchiladas. I petitioned you in the beginning when we were discussing this show and what we would do with it and kind of the timeline for it. I said that this episode we shouldn't title based on the name of the film, that it should go, because we knew we were going to split it like this between Nightmare and Friday, that it should go Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter, Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, those damn enchiladas. It is the funniest part of this movie. It is ridiculous.
I think if we go back to my list of possible podcast names,
those damn enchiladas,
I'm pretty sure it's on the list.
I think that's a podcast.
I think so.
I
think that's why we didn't do it.
Yeah. So out of nowhere, we cut back to Demon in the van, and he's like, "Oh," and he's like, he's like holding his ass, running like an old prospector to the outhouse. And Anita's like, "What's wrong, Demon?" And he's like, "Those damn enchiladas." And he runs and he gets on the toilet and it is like diarrhea soundboard. Like it is so strange, only to be made stranger so the outhouse begins to shake and rattle, and it's like, uh-oh, Roy's here. And then instead, it is Anita pushing against the outside of it and being like, ha ha, scared you. And he's like, bitch, that ain't funny. And then
Demon's words.
yeah. And then out of nowhere, she starts going like, ooh, baby, hey, baby, ooh, baby, hey, baby. And then Demon, while pantsless, shatting on the toilet, begins to sing, ooh, baby, hey, baby. And they, ooh, baby, hey, baby, ooh, baby, hey, baby, ooh, baby. They are doing, oh, by the way, this is like the third time that there's just been someone singing a song whose lyrics are legally distinct from every other song. They just make up a song. Like Lana in the thing is basically like, gonna get some dick. And she like makes up a song about like making love or whatever. And so they sing, ooh, baby, hey, baby, a half a dozen times. And then you kind of hear
a struggle.
Anita's like outside. And then he's like, baby, ooh, baby, hey, baby, ooh, baby, hey, baby. And then the outhouse starts rattling again. And then in a really well acted death, but I'm not sure what the weapon is. And for
some kind of like huge spike.
I think it might be a fireplace poker.
It doesn't have the little like curly.
He bit that off, but it's a long, thin piece of metal. It's like what it looks like if a railroad spike was like 6 feet long.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it is.
Oh, good. It's those damn enchiladas. He gets stabbed through like the dick and the chest, and it's really awful. But his performance of his death is like the only performance in the whole movie that I'm like, damn, that's believable.
Yeah.
Like he sold the shit out of that. It's the best part of the movie. We then cut to the worst part of the movie. The part that makes me so mad. We cut back to the Hubbard's farm where she is over a large pot of obviously just tap water with pieces of flour in it. Like flowers. Like it's just pieces of vegetable.
She's like, cutting vegetables. And so she spits into it at one point.
Right. And she keeps screaming, and they're just screaming at each other. And she's like, get in here and eat your fucking stew. And it's like, so I haven't seen Superman yet, but I have seen trailers for Superman. And they use, James Gunn likes to use that like kind of fisheye lens point of view for characters moving very quickly. He does it in Guardians. He does it in this movie from the trailers that I've seen. I've seen like trailer footage of like Hawk Girl flying and Superman flying. And it's very distinct. But they kind of do that. They've put like a camera on the front of Junior's bike handles.
Right.
And he is literally revving and riding this loud ass bike in a circle around the house over and over and over again, screaming like, he hit me. I want you to kill that mommy. He hit me. And they're just screaming. But it's like 5 minutes long.
It's far too long.
Honest to God, I stood up and I screamed at the TV because that wasn't a joke. I was seriously like, shut the fuck up. And then like I had to walk away for a minute because it was so overwhelming. It like tickled those anxiety parts of my brain that was like, it's like watching an elevator fail. It's like, it's so loud. It's so cacophonous and it's making me like, I don't like it. It was terrible. I fucking hate this movie so bad.
And then thankfully they are kind of quickly, but not quickly enough, dispatched with, as he's driving in a circle, a big meat cleaver swings out from behind the tree.
And
and
Roy knocks his fucking block off.
And then,
She gets her head pushed in the stew or whatever.
Yeah. The fucking cleaver comes through the window and kills her. And then back at Pinehurst, Pam has made it there. And apparently Matt has gone to look for Tina and Eddie because they never came back. So then Pam goes to find everyone and leaves the rest of the kids alone at Pinehurst.
You have the stutterer and the other girl are watching the not punk one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jake and Robin are watching a movie, which apparently that movie is A Place in the Sun, which is from 1951, which the story revolves around a drowning of one of its characters in a lake.
Okay.
So it's, I
That's
guess,
cute.
thematic.
Yeah. But they're watching this movie and he stutters to her, I want to make love to you. And she laughs at him. So he's like, well, fuck you. And he gets up and he leaves.
Yeah.
That's the whole of that scene.
Yeah, truly.
And then the other scene, which is also stupid, it's like infamous, but it's the punk girl with the Parsons Project poster on her wall.
Violet.
Yeah. Does a dance to like tepid 80s music.
Mm-hmm.
And now remember, this is like 94, but it's 80s music, baby. And sure, she's wearing an outfit from the 80s and everyone's in the 80s, despite the fact that it's the 90s. But yeah, she like dances around for a very long time.
Too long.
Yeah, minutes. Like, what I want you to do is I want you to go back. I want you to press the back button on your podcast app 3 minutes and listen back through what you just listened to. And listen back to what you just listened through and see how long that takes and how frustrating it would be to just see no dialogue, no action, no nothing, just a human being that you do not know anything about dance in a room poorly.
Yeah, and she's not dancing anything like Crispin Glover.
No. And what's funny is that I thought about that after, like I was getting in bed after we watched it for the second time and it was 5 a.m, but I was getting in bed and I was just like, man, what a weird coincidence that two of these movies back to back have like a notorious dance sequence.
Well, and then it gets even weirder because we watched Nightmare 2 between this, and it also has a dance sequence.
Oh my God, that's such a good pull. You're right. Ew. I don't like dance. I'm John Lithgow in Footloose. Fuck dancing.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's your favorite movie?
No, Footloose isn't my favorite, but I would say it's probably like, if I had to give it a stretch to a top 15, it's in there.
Okay.
I love that movie.
Okay.
I love Kevin Bacon.
That's good to know. Yeah.
They're all killed.
Yeah. Jake is killed with a meat cleaver upstairs, and Robin goes upstairs, and she gets undressed because we needed some more TNA.
Yeah.
And then she is stabbed through the bed. So again, it's kind of the Kevin Bacon murder from one, except we don't actually see anything other than the machete go up.
Yeah. I defended it happening again in part 2. I defended that. I will not defend it here. At this point, it's tired.
Yeah.
You can't homage something that's an homage, because then it's your copier's running out of toner. Like, stop doing the same thing.
And then Violet dancing gets shoved up against the wall and then machete to the chest.
Which is exactly what happened to the guy who was perving on the kids. It's like, it's just all recycled material. The reason we jump through all of that very quickly is because of a really weird decision. Reggie's upstairs with Pam, and he goes into a room.
It's Tommy's bedroom.
Right. And as he walks in there, lightning strikes. And from that, Reggie can see the bodies. And so he backs out and he's shaken and he's like very afraid. And Pam's like, what? What is it? What is it? And you pointed out how stupid this is, because you can see the wall and it's clearly well lit enough that you would be able to see in and around the room. But she walks in fully into the room and we don't see her. We just see the door frame from the hallway. She walks in. She's in there for like, I don't know. And it's going to sound awkward on the podcast, like on the actual audio. But I think if I preface it this way, you'll understand. This is about how long it takes. She walks into the room and then lightning strikes and she sees it and goes, and runs out of the room. And it's like, are you kidding? You were in there for what? You didn't trip on them? It's a pile of corpses.
Yeah. It's just the timing of it all is weird. It doesn't really make any sense.
No, not at all.
But they run downstairs, and I do love Pam's overreaction of everything with trying to get Reggie to run, and he trips, and she's like, "You gotta get up, and she's like shaking him.
She's not yelling at him. Like, you can tell from this scene alone, because we didn't spend enough time in this school to really understand how the school operates. But she beats those kids.
Oh my God!
Come on, dude. She beats those guys. He trips and she turns around and it's not like, Reggie, please, you gotta hurry. She's like, Reggie, get the fuck up. Get the fuck up, Reggie. And Demon's like, ooh, enchiladas, or whatever.
And this is where Jason makes his his entrance into this building by smashing through a door, as he loves to do.
Well, again, that frustrates me in this movie. It's you don't get to do that. Everything about this you've made terrible, and so please stop doing the things we like, because it taints it a little bit.
And this is the first time that we are seeing Jason with the blue triangles on the mask.
Yeah.
This is also the first time that we're seeing the killer, because the first movie is a whodunit, and we don't know that it's Pamela Voorhees until the end. The second one, you get some shots of Jason kind of from afar, but it's still pretty much, you just kind of see his hands until the big reveal.
You tear that Band-Aid off that it's Jason pretty early on, though.
Right.
Yeah. This
one goes back, but then in 3 and 4, you see Jason walking around and stuff.
In 3, one of the first pieces of footage that isn't a flashback is Jason walking into frame through the laundry of those people's weird general store.
So this one kind of reverts back to, up until this point, we haven't seen the killer.
Yeah.
We've seen his hands maybe, or we've really just seen weapons, happening. We've seen his boots. Of course we've seen
the fuck out of those boots. But then he quite literally bursts onto the scene.
Right. Now, here is where my theory comes in.
Oh my God, the theory.
And it's a theory that I was watching some videos. I'd watched a video online on YouTube from a page called Lost Legends TV. He talks about some weird things in this movie that are kind of unexplained.
Sure.
Which is most of the movie.
That's fair.
But he brought up a really good point, because I had asked the question when we were rewatching of Jason wears a hockey mask, but Roy at the end is revealed that he has he was found with newspaper clippings on him that talk about Jason and the killings and things like that. And it's okay, so he, for whatever reason, put this together of I could just pretend to be this killer who's from a couple counties over, and they'll, whatever. But he doesn't, with the big reveal, he's not just shown to just be wearing a hockey mask. We see him wearing a
prosthetic,
like a latex
mask, just with the face cut out, like a face hole.
Exactly. And so it's where would he? We've asked this question before. In Scream, the Ghostface costume is part of the universe. In Halloween, what is the Michael Myers mask supposed to be?
Because they buy it that way.
So in this movie, it's where would he have gone to get a mask? Not just a hockey mask. He didn't go to a sporting goods store and buy a hockey mask and put that on. He has a prosthetic latex mask underneath it. So where did that come from? Could Roy have possibly found the Jason mask, the prosthetic head, the hockey mask, and the newspaper clippings, whenever he was putting all of the other kids' bodies in Tommy's room? Because Tommy has his masks that he has made as a kid.
Yes, for the prosthetic mask and the newspaper clippings. No, for the hockey mask. Because if he had found the hockey mask there, it would have had a gouge in it. It would have been red checked. It would have been different.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be the original mask. It could be Tommy was trying to make, maybe that was it because he builds masks. Maybe this was his way of kind of conquering his demon.
Or maybe the kid has a fucking hockey mask.
Could
Fair
be
point.
that.
Maybe it's in the house. Yeah. Apparently this area is rife with hockey.
Yes.
Yes.
At least for now. But that's also kind of makes sense to be why this is finally the moment that we see Jason, because up until this point, if this theory works,
sure,
Roy hasn't been dressed as Jason the whole time.
If I'm being honest, I actually really like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. It gives just a tiny bit of something interesting to pull on in a movie that is essentially a puddle with a dead frog in it.
Yes.
Tommy shows back up, immediately ruining our red herring.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a bunch of running around with Pam and Reggie and, quote unquote, Jason through the storm. It's all bad.
Yeah.
And they eventually end up in a barn. And that's where finally Tommy shows up.
Yeah.
After a duel between Pam and Jason with a machete and a chainsaw.
Akin to Sheriff Lefty and Leatherface in a subterranean theme park in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Almost identical.
I think this is a wasted opportunity. I think that they should have gone from the killer or Roy as Jason being present and available and attacking them, and then leaving, and then having Tommy enter in similar attire so that they would then mistrust him, only for that to cost like maybe Pam dies or gets injured or something, and then Tommy has to save Reggie. That's how I would have done it.
I like that.
But instead, he just shows up, and then Jason tries to kill him. So then Tommy takes that pocket knife. And again, yeah, that pays off, but who gives a fuck?
It's the second time that we've seen it. It's not to reference Child's Play 3 again.
Okay,
There is a pocket knife in that movie. And we
Yes,
see
there
it
is.
go from Andy to the kid back to Andy. It's like you watch that knife travel from person to person in this. We saw it the one time and we've seen it now.
It's like, it's not, this is my lucky pocket knife. I keep it everywhere. My granddaddy gave it to Grandpappy Doyle. It's not, oh no, Tommy Doyle is Halloween. Oh my God, Tommy Jarvis.
Well, no, he couldn't have said any of that because that's far too many words for what he says in this movie.
He just says pocket knife. Work shed. I got you. I beat you
did
to
it first. Yep.
But yeah, no, he stabs him in the, earlier I said that this movie tainted things for the franchise, but then Tommy stabs Roy in the taint. It's like upper leg meat taint area.
Yeah.
I don't want to say in the dick, but it's kind of in the dick. He stabs him in the dick. And then he tries to climb up the ladder, and for some ladder up into the upper section of the barn where Pam is with Reggie. For some reason, like now he just can't do that.
Jason slashed him across the chest with the machete.
But not bad enough that it's like bleeding, because they don't show it doing that actively in a way that looks like it's actually bleeding.
You know what it looks like? It looks like they took some gelatin and they put some like raspberry food coloring in there, but like too much of it, and then just like mashed it onto his chest.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
That's better than the Best Buy one. I'm proud of you, bud, even though that's mine. But so he struggles to get up, and then he eventually does. And then Roy Jason also gets up, and then they look over and they see, and we didn't know what this was, so we had to look it up. Apparently it is a tractor tiller where you take, it's like a square with a bunch of spikes that stick out of this like rows of metal that make a square, like poles. And those spikes you connect to a tractor and you flip it upside down so the spikes are on the ground, and you drag it across the field to till it. But it is upside down, so the spikes are facing up, and they struggle. He gets pushed over the edge and then falls. And it's like, at first he falls, but then he didn't fall. He gets back up, but then they push him again. So again, why the fuck do you have to keep doing these things? It don't fucking matter. But they push him off, and I'm just barreling ahead. He lands and he dies.
Yeah.
And that's when you see that apparently he hit so hard that the mask in the front split open into pieces, and you can see Roy's shitty little face in there. And it's like, what?
I like, even watching it this week, I wouldn't immediately go, oh yeah, that's Roy.
No, because you see him twice.
Yeah.
You see him probably a collective of 30 seconds before this point.
It's storming, and his face is like waterlogged now, and it's like it's smashed into this
yeah, it doesn't look like him at all.
Like him anymore.
But it doesn't look like somebody who you've seen for less than 30 seconds the entire combined film. He's your antagonist. He's your Jason Voorhees.
And then, okay, so the reason behind it, this is another thing that really bothers me. So Roy decides to start killing everyone there.
Right.
Because
oh yeah, big reveal, guys.
Yes. Okay. We hard cut to a nurse
hospital,
doing her nails in the hospital, and Sheriff Tucker comes over to dump some exposition on Pam.
Yeah, he throws
here
it
at
up
the
at
end.
her. Yeah,
and he's like, because he just walks up and he's just like, yeah. So they found some things on Roy's body, and it's just like, oh, Roy, who? And then he has his wallet. And so thankfully he flips to a picture of Roy in his paramedic outfit.
Yeah.
So that we, the audience, know who Roy is.
Roy keeps a photo in his wallet of him from earlier in the movie. Oh my God. It's your pet peeve. He did it. He took a picture of himself. It's Spaceballs when they're watching the movie. He took a picture of himself from the movie to put in his wallet. And then it's a picture of his son.
What?
Little orphan Joey, the chocolate boy that Vic slaughtered into pieces.
Oh my God.
Like a suckling pig.
Now,
Turns out that was Roy's kid.
Yeah. Now, the reason that none of that makes sense is then how does he have a picture? How does Roy have a picture of his son where
Fully grown
from moments before death? And whenever the sheriff is there talking to Matt after the murder, he asks about Joey's family, and Matt explains like, yeah, Joey's mom died in childbirth. His dad was never in the picture. We don't know who he is. He's just never been around.
So you avenge the son you abandoned for 66 years, because that's how old Joey's actor is.
Right.
You abandoned him for that long, and then you're like, you know what? I'm going to kill everyone.
Did he go and kill Vic, the guy who killed Joey? Or did he murder all of the people who had nothing to do with that?
But like, he killed people that were just on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, this didn't amount to anything. So very quickly, Tommy has a vision in his hospital bed that Jason is standing in the opposite side of the room. For the first time, instead of screaming, he just kind of quiets and like seems to accept it. And then Pam walks in and is like waking him up, and he's holding a big knife. And he goes and stabs her in the stomach. It's like a pizza cutter knife. And he stabs her in the stomach.
And laughing maniacally.
Yeah. And then he wakes up from that dream. And Pam, I'm not making this up. He wakes up from the dream and he gets up and he looks in the drawer. And Roy's hockey mask is in the drawer.
Why?
Of Tommy's hospital room. So he puts on the mask and he hides behind the door. And then from waking from a nightmare where he murdered Pam, Pam walks in the room, closes the door behind her. He's standing behind the door and assumedly murders her in real life.
He's got a big knife, which also, why is that in that hospital room?
I don't know. It's like a kitchen knife. It's like a chef's knife. And then the camera zooms in and he's doing crazy eyes through the hockey mask. And it's really stupid.
So they achieve their goal.
Yeah.
Tommy is now Jason.
Tommy's new name is Thompson Vorvis.
Yeah, we'll punch that up in post.
Okay. Here. His new name is Thompson Vorvis.
Oh, that was worse.
Oh.
Thankfully, that's the end of our movie.
It is the end of the movie, yeah.
Now, do you want to hear another theory?
Yeah. Sure.
Because
they don't, but I do.
Because something else that Lost Legends TV goes over on YouTube that I'm like, okay, yeah, because it doesn't quite make sense. You said, we're talking about why does Roy kill the people that he kills?
Mm-hmm.
Because some of them make some sense. They're tied to Pinehurst.
Sure.
And Pinehurst is,
Oh, yeah. The doctor, the guy who runs it, is eventually found with like something stuck in his head.
Oh, yeah. Like a railroad spike to a tree.
Yeah.
And then Reggie's grandfather his corpse is thrown through a window like Jason loves to do.
Yeah.
And his eyes are all like cut out.
It's like if you took Jello. Anyway, go ahead.
And so it makes some sense, certain people that he's killed.
Sure.
Then you have like the greasers, you have Billy and Lana at the diner.
Demon and Anita, yeah.
Exactly. You have these people who it's like, well, why would Roy go and kill them?
Mm-hmm.
So the other theory is that Tommy is also killing people separate from Roy.
I don't like that at all.
No?
No, I don't think that makes any sense. Because Tommy is, at least in the confines of the logic of what Pinehurst is supposed to be, he would be monitored enough that he can't on a random night sneak out and murder two greasers. So I know, maybe not, because they don't seem to give a shit.
Whenever he first gets there, Matt explains, it's like, look around, there's no guards. It's very much like Holes. When Mr. Sir is explaining to Stanley, he's just like, look around, Stanley. Do you see any guards? Do you see any guard towers? No. Go. See how far you get.
And Mr. Sir is later on like, oh, and also, I love Trump. Trumpy Trump. MAGA, MAGA, MAGA Trump. And it's like, oh, no, John Voight, no. And Sylvester Stallone is like, yeah, me too. And everyone's like, what? And Mel Gibson's like, and me too, mate. And everyone's like, yeah, no, we got that one. That's not a surprise.
Not at all. But I don't know. I there's a little bit of that questioning of like, why does he kill these people? And how could he be killing Demon and Anita at the trailer park while he's also then like across town killing the kids at Pinehurst and things like that? So
this is an example of somebody, like, in hindsight, giving way more thought and attention than the people who made the movie did.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Because that's like a cool theory, but no,
Yeah.
because it doesn't matter. Even if that were true, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Mhm.
And take all your time that you need to answer this one. Do you recommend?
No. Do you recommend?
Thanks for tuning into the Third Channel podcast. Please, if you have the time, rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any of your favorite podcast apps.
You can follow us on social media at Third Channel Podcast, and you can find me online at @DRosenberg.
You can also reach out to us at thirdchannelpodcast@gmail.com, where we check every message, we swear. Third Channel is hosted by PJ Minette
And Derek Rosenberg. Theme song and audio engineering by Fly Guy Ty.
the logo designed by Bell DeVelco.
Episode artwork by Nathan Walkington.
Keep it tuned right here to the Third Channel for all things horror. And remember, don't touch that dial.
Egg salad and eggs.